I have faith in the American people.
White House hopefuls in the Republican Party took to the debate stage this week.
Now is our moment to start running to something, to our vision of what it means to be an American today.
Making their pitch to the people.
We need to lower your gas prices. We're going to open up all energy production. We will be energy dominant again in this country.
There was the typical back and forth, including between former South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley and entrepreneur and political newcomer Vivek Ramaswamy, who stood alone in his support of cutting U.S. funding and military aid to Ukraine. Haley pushed back.
There you have it.
Your watch, so you will make America less safe. You have no foreign policy experience, and it shows.
And you know what? The foreign policy.
But what also showed up was the faith of some of the candidates and how it might influence their politics.
Well, our nation was founded upon the Judeo-Christian values that has made this the greatest nation on God's green earth. I'm a big believer in Ephesians 3:20 that God is able to do exceedingly abundantly above all that we ask or imagine.
God is real. There are two genders.
Ramaswamy is Hindu, but he has said he shares Christian values. He also said faith could help in the response to a mental health crisis in the country.
But it's not just drugging up people in those psychiatric institutions with Zoloft and Seroquel. It's a deeper issue. I think faith-based approaches can play a role here, too.
Garnering support among conservative Christians could play a major role in deciding who the next Republican presidential nominee is. It paid off in 2016 for former President Donald Trump. He's leading substantially in current Republican polling and decided to skip out on Wednesday's debate. The former president is facing multiple criminal indictments. Chris Christie, a Catholic and the former governor of New Jersey, was a vocal opponent of Trump both during and after the debate.
Whether you agree or disagree with the criminal charges, do we really believe that this is normal behavior? Do we really think that this is what we want as a role model for our children and grandchildren? The clear answer is no.
Christie is currently in the minority for sharing his direct opposition to Trump, but the majority of Republicans on the debate stage had similar views on a number of issues, including immigration.
The most pressing need of the American people from a national security standpoint is our southern border.
U.S. Senator Tim Scott, just one voice among the Republican candidates advocating for a strong southern border and a stop to illegal immigration. North Dakota Governor Doug Burgum says drug cartels have funneled opioids into the country and contributed to overdoses throughout America.
We've lost 200,000 people to overdoses since Biden took office. That's 300 people a day. We're taking mass casualties.
Support for unborn babies was also on display. Following the reversal of Roe v. Wade last summer, abortion law went back to the states. Governor Ron DeSantis, a Catholic, touting his record after signing a 6-week abortion ban in Florida.
I believe in a culture of life. I was proud to sign the heartbeat bill.
Asa Hutchinson, the former governor of Arkansas, called his state the most pro-life.
I signed 30 pro-life pieces of legislation while I was governor.
And Mike Pence, a former Catholic, spoke about his own biblical convictions on the issue.
After I gave my life to Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior, I opened up the book and I read, "Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you." And I've been a champion for life in the Congress, a champion for life as governor and as vice president.
Both Pence and Senator Scott showed support for a 15-week abortion ban at the federal level. But Nikki Haley suggested the support in Congress wouldn't be there.
We haven't had 45 pro-life senators in over 100 years, so no Republican president can ban abortions.
Haley, who described herself as unapologetically pro-life, spoke about the possibility of finding common ground.
Let's find consensus. Can't we all agree that we should ban late-term abortions? Can't we all agree that we should encourage adoptions? Can't we all agree that doctors and nurses who don't believe in abortion shouldn't have to perform them?
The road to the 2024 presidential election is now being paved, and both Republicans and Democrats will continue to try and capture voter support.
And so for Catholics, the concern right now would be to start paying attention.
And James Patterson, an associate professor and chair of the Department of Politics at Ave Maria University in Florida, gives some advice to Catholic voters as they consider all the issues being debated. For starters, go to Mass.
The teaching role of the church occurs most often at Mass. So that is when you're supposed to be learning these things.
Patterson says it's a good place to form your conscience. Putting faith before politics is also something U.S. Catholic bishops have called for in their document on the political responsibility of Catholics, saying, quote, "For all Catholics, including those seeking public office, our participation in political parties or other groups to which we may belong should be influenced by our faith, not the other way around." Mark Irons, EWTN News In Depth.